well recognize if this gets to a third, it becomes a very, very difficult kind of matchup. This fly through, though, folks, means we're ready to go, right? Pistol will be getting kicked off in just a second here. Looking forward to it. See how much preparation Bait have got for this map, or whether they have unfortunately had to leave it. There is that one angle that we can look at. Maybe it's an expected map pick, right? So, you know, if you're going to work on any map in your spare time yesterday or whatever, this would be it.
Exactly, yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I mean, Sprout, they've won their last 3. Remind you of that one. They've beaten Eternal Fire, they've beaten Saw, they've beaten Bad News Eagles, and in the past with this very roster, they've beaten Falcons, and they've beaten Ecstatic. So they have good records. They've lost 2 in 10. Can they keep that record going and take us to a decider? We're about to find out. Pistol underway.
Pretty fast up the ramp as well, not wasting any time, making a lot of noise. It's a fairly obvious, and they really are not wasting any time. Straight in, very fast. Bait with a retake setup, so bomb's going to go down. We won't really see any kills coming in. A nice Molotov as well. Yeah, it's a nice open bomb plant, but that molly goes down. It stops any kind of nade stacking, and obviously Wrinkles brought one up alongside his kit. Although, that being said, the later nade stack, Stair kind of forgets that it could still exist. And he will go down. Flasher's going round. Kit is there. Retake smoke in play. Get that guy on the bomb and get his ass covered. He's not quite on it just yet. They're looking for the frags, and it's not really working for them. Down goes Wrinkle. Down goes that Kit. 3 versus 2. And this is the open plant, isn't it? They went for the retake on the default spot, and unfortunately, that's not where it was at. Yeah, it's unlucky. It is very unlucky. I think they... Maybe because they get the kill with the nades, they think, he must be the planter, and he's planted default. But no. It was off to the side, and their smoke was in the wrong place.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, I mean, as you so rightly say, I was slightly surprised that Stair was in that position in the end after he avoided it by planting on the far right. Did his job for his team, of course. That plant basically won the round because that open plant is so hard to deal with. But yeah, as you say, that's a nice try from Bait, but realistically, everything was going in Sprout's favour on that one. Good play, taking control of ramp immediately, and perhaps knowing that Bait have less experience on this map than Sprout do themselves, and dealing with that one pretty nicely. I'm still going very aggressive to try and find the grill, but little does he know that Refresh is still here, trying to eat up these USPs, and he'll do just that. slaxz finds one in the meantime as well, and that's the clean start. Rifles will now come in for Bait, wanting them as quickly as possible. Like the decisions being made by these two teams early on by not forcing immediately in the second round on CT side. We're seeing the rifles come out earlier, and I think with the power of the M4A1S that everyone in the scene is aware of, it's probably the better choice in certain maps, especially. Maybe Inferno, you can still buy up the force buy because, of course, you can buy the 5 smokes and delay time as much as possible. So there's always that.
Great content when those rounds come out.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It's a rough one. Whoa, they've gone for utility, not respecting that the players could already be in, though, and 2 quick kills for Sprout. Bait. Quick switches. Toss them. Hooked. Gonna find one. He's been chased down. Traded out is there, though. 2 versus 2 now. Bomb's in. But it's alone. Wrinkle doesn't really have to stop it. It's actually a fake out, and he's going to let it get planted this time around. Nice nade. Nice spot from Captain Kirker. slaxz is trying to take the fight and trying to get out. You can see how comfortable they look, man, just going for these types of plays. What is the wave? It all happens so fast, and that means that there's a lot of utility remaining here for the CT side, actually, to mount a pretty good retake. The one thing that's against them is the fact that they've not got a kit. So time is of the essence, and it is starting to wind down. I think this might just be a case of, you know, one of them's got to smoke on that bomb, get on it, and hope for a 10-second hold. There's the Molotov, so absolutely a smoke needs to go down.
There we go.
Not a chance. slaxz has got this one in the bag. They might all go down. Stare. Oh, he is indeed dead, but I think they both are. Oh, no, slaxz gets away just about. Okay, so another massive round from Sprout, looking very, very good so far.
That's not too bad, to be fair. I mean, it may look silly for Wrinkle to be in that position, but they'd both committed already, right? And there was no way he was going to escape as that smoke faded. So I think just fighting away for the kills, as you can see there, is probably the better choice, because 2 players would have stayed up rather than just the 1. So it keeps Sprout's economy honest by killing all but 1. Really only slaxz, of course, having survived with the most money in the bank. So I don't mind that from Bait. But Sprout already looking pretty solid in that first gun round as well. Captain Kurtkat with the Deagle. Tries to spam it away, but Stair uses the high movement of the Mac 10 to deal with that one nicely.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nasty from Alex.
Right through the molly.
A lot of bodies here as well. A lot of damage on to refresh that bomb carrier. Nade does finish off Alex, though, so I think that might start to spell the defeat for Bait. Any kind of damage that they can do, I think they'll be very, very happy with indeed. Plank going down. No nades this time around to deal. Yeah, looks good. I think once the bomb goes down and the utility, that post-plant utility is placed, that's where it's really, really hard in these types of half-buy rounds to get back in, because you do indeed. You have to go for something risky like a walk through a smoke and hope that you can get not one, but two, and maybe even three, and you don't get a single kill, right? So, any more damage would be nice. Wrinkle, ooh. Refresh is on it, man. Ruining his little noggin. There you go. Beautiful stuff. 4th in a row for Sprout.
Yeah, this is an excellent start. And you know, back in the day, of course, I always like to bring this up, just remembering how Vertigo used to be. T-side starts, when you pick the map and start T-side, they always used to be incredibly powerful, right? Because I feel like it was a bit T-sided when it first came out in its previous guises of having weird windows in mid and stuff like that with sandbags, etc. But now, of course, it got a bit more CT-sided as the prevalence of the Silence M4 came to pass as well. But yeah, I'm going to say at the moment... the idea of starting on T-side, of course, has been mentioned by quite a number of people, which we've both discussed about. It seems sometimes can work out for you when you're the better team. Already so far, Sprout looking pretty clean. Zyphon's going to get pretty heavily naded, that's a lie. Only 5 HP to that, but he's got 2 players to face, and that's the way he goes down. Alex will take that frag, and there's another player, of course, there. In the window and Sandbag's crossfire to make that pretty impossible to go much further. So good opening find for Bait. Important in this gun round, of course, with Wrinkle on the AWP as well for the first time, so need to find a good opening, and they have.
Ooh, nice little pick up from Amster as well. So, a perfect spot to be in right now. Let's see. Sprout, what you got? Well,
okay.
You got a bullet in the leg. Either way, Flash comes round. They're going to try and salvage what they can here. It's so early on in the round that saving might be tough, but it might be, again, as we often say, your only option. Slaxz wants the scrap, but it's just not coming to him, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think they will indeed have to move away.
Indeed. One of the youngest teams, Sprout, of course, with 2 players who haven't even touched 20 yet. 17, Laurenex, I believe, and 18, Stare, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, we saw earlier, 9Z once again qualifying for another major. And they, of course, have their new player, NQZ. He's only 17. So, Laurenex looking to join the club, perhaps. But so far, they're doing it the hard way. Map down to Bait. And they're going to choose to save, as you so rightly say. And it's the right choice, because Refresh has good as util. So does slaxz, and they can both drop a gun. Not even that they need to. So, this save is absolutely the correct call on this occasion. And they can have a full buy available into the next as well. 4-1. Bait get their first round on the board. Just normal picks all day, really. And that first one towards Zyphon at mid. Pretty simple.
Makes you feel a bit ill, doesn't it? 17. 2005?
Yeah, I guess.
Crazy. Getting old now, mate, for sure. Laurenex, though, he is going to open up into this round. He's pretty hot. He's pretty good, for sure. We'll see whether that pans out for them, but a nice early opener. Sprout back to their winning ways, perhaps.
Captain Quick Cap in the middle of nowhere, and that's going to cost him. Stair takes him down comfortably. The police are outside my house right now, making a lot of racket.
Yeah, I can hear them.
Yeah.
They're after this, oh goodness, ridiculous arson over on Vertigo, I guess. So much fire over here.
Oh, I managed to trade their way in nicely though, Sprout once again. And the sirens fade as it leaves Amster left in a 1v4. And he's going to get legged through the smoke as well, which is very painful. He might get a second kill. It actually does drop the bomb. And he can jump back through that smoke as well, funnily enough. Surprising escape for him. Maybe the police are still looking for him. I can tell you that Sprout are, and he's found Laurenex as well. How has he made this into a 1v1? slaxz on the rifle, only 50 health. And look at this angle that Amster's holding. Has he spotted him? He has! What a clutch from Amster, and what an angle to get the final kill. How on earth have Sprout lost that one?
I don't think that I've seen that used in pro play to that kind of effectiveness. Oh, what a move, what a read, and way to stay calm on it. That's magic. I was going to say, I was ready.
Legged.
Bro, yeah, I was ready for, like, the round to end. Maybe he brings it down to 1, and then, like, the AK finishes him off, and I was ready to go, you know, if he wasn't legged, he maybe would have had a good chance at that. But not 1, but 2 kills that he has absolutely no right at getting there at the tail end. That is huge. This one especially, right?
Oh.
Just, yeah,
look at this
can't
line.
miss a bullet. And, I mean, I personally, I'd say that's through smoke video game, but, you know, it may well have been. That's actually something to bear in mind that we don't mention too much, but smokes are server side, and because we're on a relay, it might be slightly different the way that it's bloomed on their server. So that's something to consider, is that maybe there's a bigger gap there for him to work with than we see. But all the same, disgusting.
Yeah. Goodness me, that is... I mean, Sprout's eco that they lost at 13-12 on Nuke was bad. Obviously, like, it's a classic story, right, of a CT winning an insane clutch. Usually, there is a situation where you say, oh, well, it's kind of the T's fault, right?
Yeah.
In this one, Amster does everything right, and the final kill is the most impressive one by far. But Sprout, they only have themselves to kick for that one. That is an absolutely nightmarish loss. And if they somehow miss taking this second map, it's going to be one they're going to be thinking about for a while. Looking back at the demo later and trying not to wake up in the middle of the night with a cold sweat for that one, because that is ridiculous. And they've already lost the opening pick in the following as well. It's a full force buy. Deal, Tech9, AWP and AK left. Beta here, and they're here to play.
Stair going to be heard. He gets ever so slightly burnt, I think, by a team Molotov, because that's pretty low damage for a late tick on a molly, but all the same, it's sound info, and that's pretty big for bait. Great angle here. Oh, and the AWP not in position to trade. Lauan goes a little bit early before slaxz is ready. He will take some damage through the wall, but it's not an awful lot, is it really? They'll be happy for the 5-on-3, and of course the bomb dropped here. Flash through, ineffective. Refresh left blind as a bat. Captain Kirker in with the support. It's just slaxz. He does good for 1, but that is all. So bait with the quick round after as well. Absolutely massive stuff. Gap is closing, and their confidence, it's been found.
And that's going to put Sprout on no money whatsoever as well. 2,450 on a couple of players, 2,500 on slaxz, 2,700 on Lauan. They go down to pistols, and Bait have a free path to make it an equalising round and a 4 each scoreline, and it could have been so much different. Could have kept Bait on 2, or even on 1. Won that previous round. What looked like an unlosable situation, and the fact that Amster got legged makes it an even more remarkable clutch. And they're holding up these pistols pretty well as well. Captain Kurtka. Captain Jacket, as I believe that actually is what that means. And his jacket is looking very clean at the moment. Barely any damage taken. And they'll win that round comfortably. Suddenly their economy is looking incredibly good. And Sprouts is up against the wall. Tactical timeout being used. Right time to do it for sure.
Well, I think they know. Every T-side round they can pick up is worth its weight in gold, right? And every little bit of kind of confidence they can give themselves. And again, keeping a young, inexperienced team in these types of games, this type of pressure in the right headspace is super important. And I'll probably keep saying that throughout this series. And, you know, it'll be Refresh calling that timeout, you know. Bit of Berry's input, maybe. They can understand where it's at. They can understand that it's like, oh, man, we lost the first one. We should have won it. Now they're starting to win here, you know. And it's like, no, ignore the scoreline. Ignore the last. It's a round on round on round game. Let's play this round. Does it work?
Exactly.
Good. If it doesn't, unlucky. We'll look at it afterwards. You know, and you just have to keep moving on. And that can be difficult. That can be difficult. Ignoring the grander context of the game is a challenge, for sure. And it's a skill as well. You know, it's something that some players can never crack.
Yeah, and Sprouts, I mean, they've known to have their jitters on LAN as well, right? I mean, we mentioned even with some of their older rosters, just the players of Stare and Launex have both struggled on LAN in the past to get used to that setting. I can tell you right now that it seems like they're getting a bit more used to it after their performances against FaZe, but they still have these situations where they lose rounds they should not be losing, and we've seen a couple of those already today. 4v4 in this round, but already some interesting run boosts coming in. There was a chance for a second frag from Wrinkle, but couldn't make it happen. But they are making their way up the ramp slowly. 50 seconds in the round to go. Wrinkle going aggressive on the edge of that ramp line as well. Toward Gap. Sandbags will be cleared out, but Alex is here too, and that could be difficult because look who's rotating in. They're going to have 3 players on the A bump site, and Sprout are sticking with this play. Are they going to move back, or are they going to stick around? Wrinkle's in the perfect spot. Refresh looking to pre-fire it. A flash for the angle, looking to pick in front of it, but Wrinkle's too quick for you. 4v3, and Launex now needs this kill desperately. It's Amster toward Quad on the back of B. They need to rotate the bomb over quickly, but he's smoked himself off. That's brilliant. That just wastes the clock even further. Doesn't matter if he dies. He's wasted 5 seconds. Look at the rotations. Every single player is in, but if they can fight their way through, it still might be possible, and they've done it!
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Sprout win every single duel, and even though it took so long, slaxz steps up at the right time.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, yeah, they wait and wait and wait. Just catching them split enough. The patience pays off. And it's that panic. When there's only 20 seconds left, you know, it's very hard to con what you want to do and talk about the bigger game plan, the wider game plan. And, yeah, really, really smart stuff from Sprout, I think, to just sow a little bit of discord into the defense there. We'll see, we'll see. Got to turn it into a few more for sure, but it's a pretty good round in isolation.
It's that sort of round which looks unlikely, you know, for you, that when you win it, it makes you forget about any previous misgivings. I mean, obviously you're going to remember it from earlier on at some point, but you know, it's so important to have a hype round that makes you move on quickly, and that's big for Sprout, just for their mental state in this T-half so far. 1-for-1 early on in round number 10. Now an X being joined up by Zyphon, looking for the entry, and there it is again. Back into a 3v3, of course, because Hukta did get one, and there is one player hitting Alex, and he could do some good work here, but oh, the swing from Zyphon catches him out in the midst of him fighting Launex, of course. And now that gives Sprout another 3v2 on the B-bomb site. Have they found an opening? They were very A-centralized, of course, earlier in the half, weren't they? Going A pretty much consistently, and a bit of mid, but maybe they've conditioned Bait to be less worried about B. And maybe now that's punishing them a little bit.
Yeah, that's a pretty good read, actually. I feel like that's probably what they talked about in the timeout. You know, what are some of the set rounds that we have for B executes? Because it seems like they're getting used to the A plays. And A just feels a bit cursed, a bit frustrating. So we need a fresh slate, so to speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look to be working much more decisive over on B, right? We had a wind the clock, very close, cutting it to the wire, and then a bit of a faster one there. So, can respect it, can get behind it. We've got the save that comes through, but I don't think there'll be anything to support that save. Just hoping they can perhaps pull something out of their backside on this one. Timeout for Sprout. Really not messing around here. A lot of respect across, I think, to the opponents here. And indeed, even though you'd maybe say that Sprout are the favourite coming into it, Bait are not messing around. Some really good Counter-Strike coming out from these guys.
Agreed. Are you a pizza man?
Yeah, I can be.
Do you think that second box is empty?
Mm.
Even though it's closed?
Yeah, you should.
We'll never know.
I reckon keeping it warm, you know, for when
get ourselves up there to the top floor.
Yeah.
Have a look.
But yeah, I enjoy pizza. It's good. It's pretty good. What about you?
Stuff. I don't have it that much, I'll be honest with you. Probably not enough.
That's probably for the best, though. It is very, very, very bad for you. You know.
Fair enough.
full cheese, full salt.
Oh no!
Hello?
Have they failed the run boost?
I think they might have done. Oh, this is not the round to be doing that, boys.
Oh no! You know,
Oh,
I was literally just going to mention as well that the sign says 0 casualties, which means no one's fell off the map yet. And guess what? Oh, it happens around after. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to take my word for it that I thought that, but you know, oh no.
He was the one that had the clip a couple months ago,
yes, the 3K spray down in Challenger League. Yeah. They had the run boost, and he landed on the stairs and got a 3K spray down, and it was probably all over the highlight channels, that one. They tried to do it again on a low buy, and unfortunately this time they've completely failed it, and that could be a nightmarish one for Sprout. Thankfully they deal with the season of Amster up close, and that might give them the impetus still to go toward B, but Hookter's got this AK picked up, and that is a lovely first kill. Zyphon will go down, and Hookter gets a second toward refresh too. It's a horrible round for Sprout. slaxz needs to recover it, but he's got the open. They're going to triple run him down. He's doing great movement to escape from this one, though, and he has a chance in this still. Oh! If only you could press mouse 1 once more. You never know where that bullet would have gone. Captain Kutka chases him down, and Sprout lose, I should say. What is a nightmarish round once again.
Even on that no-scope as well, we might see it in a replay here. They were lined up. If he'd have scoped in, the bullet's a bit more accurate. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty damn close. That is pretty damn close. I feel like the trajectory of the bullet when you're no-scoping is always off at a wild kind of angle, right? So it goes through the player and it probably goes upwards or something like that. But back down to reality. Nice attempt from slaxz. Sure, it's a silly round. It's a silly round, as we like to say. You've not built up your cash. You lose a player to the run boost, which I feel is somewhat of a risk. Because it is a hard run boost, guys. You know, I know they're pro-level players, but it is still pretty hard. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, already that's a good recovery from Sprout in this following round. But one of our fellow commentators in chat sort of questioned, did he fall off the map while throwing the gap smoke from T-spawn? It happened very fast, so that's a possibility as well. But even if he does that, that's just as big a mistake. Like, realistically, it's a huge error to make, because that never happens.
That one, I ain't giving you no benefit of the doubt of, like, oh, yeah,
exactly.
It's like, come on now. That's a lapse. That is concentration falling, and it could cost you everything here. As you said, they've got a nice opener, and that sets them up in a pretty good spot, but... the weaponry's still not looking great. Zyphon with a nice little angle. Stairs going to eat that nade for the plant here. 5 on 3, some recovered guns. Make it 2. This is not out of the question. Hookter, is he going to spot this player on high? He certainly knows that he's there now and will indeed find the frag. Alex with the flank, but there's an AWP and 2 players to get through. No utility, no kit. Surely not, you say on this one, Trav. Surely not. Down to the one-on-one, though. It's a big recovery. But the AWP going to get it in the end, and I don't know that there was really enough time if he found that frag. Anyway, Sprout answer back. Oh my goodness, this game is so unpredictable.
Goodness me. 1v1s all over the place. So exciting. Previous map sort of ended this way, and it's continued into map 2. Great win from slaxz, keeping the head above water on T side. 7-5. Could have been a lot better, but could have been a lot worse. 2 rounds that they can look back on and say, well, it could have been 9-3 right now, and it'd even healthier. But we'll say that they've recovered nicely, sort of mentally, Sprout, haven't they? They've looked pretty good considering they've had 2 big losses that they've had to get over. Alex boosted up in mid, looking for some feet. But of course, Zyphon can see your feet too. I'll spot him out. We've also been told in chat that Hookter is apparently pronounced Nikita. That's a difficult one. Yeah. So I would appreciate anyone who can confirm that. I appreciate it. But yes, it's good to know those pronunciations, of course.
I'm not sure if I was casting with you or someone else that kind of came and told me that as well.
Appreciate that though, guys. Thank you. Thamas with the boost coming in for Nikita. He'll have to fall away from that after getting just a little bit of chip damage, no more. Sprout know it's there though. I know there's probably at least 2 or 3 players in position, and the flash will come in toward gap for Captain Kutka to give it a look. Wrinkles found Laurenex in the meantime as well. 5v4, but the health isn't too amazing on a couple of their players, so Sprout don't need to pounce immediately just yet. Do they go searching toward B? Because right now there are many players in position. Stair has a bit of a line-up, but he gets swung on by 2 players. Nagita goes down, but Kurtka responds, and now AK can be switched to. slaxz finds one, and with 25 seconds, they can make their way toward B, but they need to be careful. Oh, hello.
Oh, nearly a catch on the MP9 going for the cross.
I like this call. I want to say I like this call. Zyphon might go down,
Fine.
but he's still here.
Kurtka's heard all this, yeah.
10 seconds.
Whoa! Cannon just needs to stay alive, really. We'll go down.
4 seconds.
Oh, that's close. That is close. However, you know, he can't really get out of here now. He's lost his teammate who was out in the open. 2 versus 1. Not going to happen. They'll be happy. They'll be happy that they get the bomb down. Unfortunately, no conversion on the round.
Yeah, that was an interesting call from Sprout, right? Because you could just sort of tell that the comms there, especially Refresh at the bottom of ramp, who you could see like was just looking into the wall, knife out on a couple of occasions. You could tell there was a lot of communication going on in that round, and the decision whether to go to B or to go back to A, because of course Bait have been burnt by that very play previously, right? They went to B late round and they managed to recover it from what was a pretty decent disadvantageous situation. So they had rotated 2 over, but not all 3, and keeping Captain Kurtka in position was enough to delay the time so much, and at least take 1 kill to make it impossible for Sprout to recover that one refresh with an impossible 1v2 when both players were swinging him at once. So good read from Bait. Sprout maybe a bit slow to make a decision. That's 3 rounds now, which you could have looked at beforehand and said, this is a Sprout round, and it didn't go that way. Could be 10-5, at least. Maybe even more.
Certainly. We've had a few difficult ones to stomach in this. I suppose if we're all getting a fair share of it, then it does make it easier. Double boost up. Oh, up they'll go. Noise being made over at back 90. Amster. Really good spot here. Yeah, should be able to find a few as they start peeking around. He will go down. That should be all she wrote, and it is indeed 7-7. Once again, we've got we've got another 8-7 finish at the half, but who's going to take it this time?
Yeah, these teams can't be separated somehow. Gonna be a close game. And could have been very different, but fate has got us to this position, and Sprout, we've been hoping for much more, but I know have the ability to lock this one down on CT side. Bait, having started on CT, of course, will probably be feeling a bit more comfortable with it. But Bait were probably pretty happy with their first map, first half. Question is, I probably wouldn't be surprised if they're not too unhappy with this one if they glean in 8-7 as well. But Zyphon's already found another entry. He stepped up since his poor performance in map 1. 10 kills and 10 deaths. Pretty normal for him now. Back where he should be. And a 5v3 with Stair getting a second means that Sprout are in pole position for that 8-7.
Oh, they've abandoned B as well. Yeah, this is not the move, guys, unfortunately. There. Maybe going to win this fight out as well. Dinks him through the girder. Will go down himself, but all the same, Bomb's going down, mate. 4v3, they're going to go for it. Final round, of course, so no saving and all that annoying stuff. But look at this crossfire in towards mid, right? It's going to be so hard to make it in. They don't respect how deep players are. And, well,
There it is.
not a single frag on that retake attempt. 8-7, it's Sprout that take the lead this time around. Moving into the stronger, arguably, CT side. We'll see whether that has a positive effect or whether Bait can keep this pressure on. See you in a few. Hello, everybody. Welcome back in. We are here, of course, half number 2, getting kicked off nice and quick. Not too much waiting. Here we are, 8-7 again. But this time it's Sprouts that have the lead, and they move on to the strong sides. Looking very, very good indeed for their favourite map in the pool. Bait Esports have got a lot of work to do here, and quick up ramp they will go. A repeat of that first half pistol, it looks like.
Yeah, very similar, and can often be very successful, of course, as well. I'm interested to see which side they plant on, whether it's default or on the far right, like Sprout did. But taking a little bit more time on this occasion. Wrinkle up close. They do have the dual smokes and dual flashbangs to get themselves in towards the site. And what's interesting for Sprout is there is no defuse kit bought up. Just 2 flashes on refresh, and that is it. And maybe because they're looking to fight and brawl their way into this one, because there are 3 players holding the gap angle. In comes the flash. Perfect flashbang. Instead gets the frag, but Alex will swing here. But there are more players to worry about. Alex, though, fighting his way in, and already gets all 3. Oh my goodness. They had a perfect setup, Sprout, to deal with this, but they still might be able to win it, with Laurenix getting 2 kills. But in the end, Alex, what a round. 4 kills. 666 is the devil number, and he most certainly had the number on Sprout there.
Another messy opening pistol round. Goodness gracious, they are really happy to scrap here. Whew. Bait, though, they'll be loving that, right? It allows them to dictate that pace and to get off to a good start. It's so important on an 8-7. It's going to be a force buy coming out from Sprout. Different mentality, different philosophy. Bait went for the eco in the early rifle round. They will force. They are confident in whatever kind of game plan they've got here. It's a B stack. And, well, Bait looking once again to come up fast through the ramp. A lot of damage taken from some early nades, though, so they do have to watch themselves.
Bait causing Sprout a hell of a lot of problems. Have to do this the hard way. Sprout have lost 2 out of their 10 previous maps of Vertigo. That's why that we predicted that Bait had to win map 1. They did. In a pretty convoluted fashion, but they made it happen. Map 2 we thought would be a shoe-in for Sprout, and there are probably 3 or 4 rounds which you could have said should be a shoe-in. They've fallen by the wayside a bit on those. Stare. Oh, they actually made it back into a vaguely winnable 1v2. Decent force buy from Sprout. They take down 3 players, and the Galil of Wrinkle. And AK of Captain Kutka, the last 2 players to stay up. Both were pretty low as well, so yeah, not a bad eco. Or bad force, I should say, but of course it does give Bait the opportunity to make it to 10. Double digits is within their grasp.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looked like it was going to be scary for a second. Another bloodbath. They are loving the scraps so far in this second half, but yeah. Great start. Keep it cool, keep it smooth here. Try not to drop any players if they can. Always easier said than done, though. Again, Sprout loving the 3B. Makes a bit of sense in the force buy. Makes a bit of sense in the, you know, upgraded pistols. That's what we used to call it. There you go. There's a nice one to explain a round like this. But, yeah, we'll see whether it carries over into the rifles. Then I may well start to question it somewhat.
Exactly. Rifles will be the big factor. Nice shot there from Stair to at least hit 1 bullet, but
unlucky.
Unfortunately, he needed a second. It is. You're absolutely right. No longer chest spam, stomach spam. I think that's one of the updates that they changed to guns that, gotta say, is probably the best, in my opinion. Makes it a lot more exciting now when a big deagle play comes in, you feel. As you know, there's some sexy headshots that have been hit, but anyway, should be the 10th coming in. Captain Kutka will be able to clear that with the Mac 10, and even Nikita just going to plant in the corner as well. Keep yourself safe. In comes the Mac 10. Perfect play. Farming up that cash. 2 more players to find. He's going to clear out Heaven in its entirety as well. He's done around the world to make sure it's completely clear.
Still potential for a gun or 2 away on this one. You know, you're in a position where you're kind of just looking for that. You maybe don't want to give them the kill bonus across.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Oh. Oh! Ooh. Zyphon. Okay, he's stopping the save from coming in here, that's for sure. Great damage to the economy. Can they stay alive on the corner there? Amster, okay. 17 health? Yeah, he's alright. Okay, that's exactly the plan behind that play from Zyphon there. Take guns away from the T side, and maybe, even if there are some players saving in that corner, do some damage to them and make them go down to the bomb. It's often a strategy that can come through, but this time, 2 kills with a deagle was very nice recovery for that one. But yeah, in the end, it's only those 2 kills really that Sprout have to write home about.
Right, let's see them. Pretty aggressively up here, trying to take it fast. More nade damage, and if he was healthy, that's maybe a frag, but they're going to find the one onto Kurtka. They're hoping to make the most of this bonus, really. Draw a lot of attention towards ramp, and, well, they have done just that. 4 players ready to go. They're really not ready. The double spray down from Amster makes all the difference, though. Down goes Stair. slaxz can't find his frag. And Bait have survived the onslaught. Absolute magic. They move up ramp. Bomb going to go down, and LauNX looking for a hero play. He fancies himself, doesn't he? Ooh, I was going to say not going to happen for him. I went a bit preemptive with that, as he does win the fight on the edge of the smoke. Maybe there is no letting up. Not over till it's over. Remember that. That would do well indeed. He comes close, but not going to find that player around the edge of the smoke. Bait, that's a massive round, bro. And Sprout, I think they're going to be frustrated again.
That's rare that happens as well. The fact that Bait fight their way through in that position is very unusual, because Sprout had 3 players swinging the ramp, and they had a player from Gap as well to worry about. And we're going to see a replay coming in there. There's the player on Gap on the right-hand side, and the 2 players that Amster gets is such a huge spray transfer. It's not the biggest one in the world, but to get both in that position is remarkable, and that just never happens. Bait having things go their way. I mentioned how in the open qualifier I watched them beat Heat, and you know, that's when I first really caught wind of the possibilities that this team can really do and make possible. And now they're giving Sprout a bit of a lesson. Sprout have lost 3 or 4 rounds which they would not be expecting to lose. It could be a completely different scoreline. -3 and +3 on either single score could ever happen, but look at the flashbangs. Oh my goodness, they're so blind. They're so blind, and they're so out of bullets. It's a messy B execute, but they will fight their way in comfortably in the end. And that's going to be 12-8. It could have been 12-8 to Sprout instead. That's how different it could have been.
Insane, absolutely insane. We'll see here. I mean, there is definitely potential. Get those tweets ready. Madness.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, huh?
Absolute madness. Yeah, well, that is it. That is it. And again, you can't dwell on it. You got to keep moving. I've said that so many times, and Sprout is just so hard. It is so, so hard. And this is where kind of the lack of experience coming in. I think it would be a similar kind of situation for Bait on the other side of things, but yeah, the young players of Sprout really, really struggling to keep their heads in the game, as the song goes.
Exactly. Stair once again going in there for some damage to see if someone's saving on Stairs. Maybe just take another cheeky gun away. No need for him to save himself because he's buying next round anyway and only had a deagle. But yeah, Bait really showing up, and it just completely goes against every single statistic, every single thought we had about how Sprout would play on this map. Maybe the nerves are getting to them. Maybe. So some of the youngsters on this roster, the lack of experience is starting to show. They do have a bad loss in them sometimes, do Sprout. And Bait right now are taking advantage of that. But it's nowhere near over yet. Of course, it is the 2-1 match. It's not like it's to decide a match with one team going home and one team going through. Either one of these two would have another chance. But Sprout have a very difficult 2-2 bracket to fall into if they do lose this game. Good start to the next round for Sprout, though. Captain Kurtka will fall to the AWP of slaxz, and now could be a chance to recover some form of calm to the CT half.
Nikita, it is, leading the charge. Oh, going to lose his teammate while Black. They are getting mowed down. Oh my goodness gracious.
Damn.
Tried the contact play and it did not work at all. Amster on the Sail end of the attack. Maybe a head or two. Oh, spotted now. Surely going to go down in just a second here as well. Oh, okay.
Now an
Getting a bit weird,
yeah.
yeah. You know. Here we go.
Careful. Oh.
It's been waiting so long. Unlucky.
Those are some very interesting gloves. I'm not sure I would choose those willingly.
I think it's funny. I like the funny angle. When you've got the money to play with, just go for a jokey angle, mate. I definitely can see it. They're the giraffe ones, no?
I like leopard print giraffe. I don't know. It's hard to tell, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
but
they're not popular.
You can save
for
the
a
orb. That's
reason.
good.
You are correct.
It is nice to see some players having, like, as you say, like a different angle and something completely different to the norm.
A bit of character, you know, because otherwise you're like, everyone's just going to use like Vice superconductor, maybe snow leopard. Like there'd be maybe 4 or 5 pairs of gloves in rotation. Same with the knives. If they're just like, yo, let's just get the most expensive ones or whatever.
Yeah.
See, look, there's a pair of Vices right now. I think. I don't know.
Pandora's
boxes.
Pandora's
box. Yeah,
there you go.
Bad, my bad.
All good. Don't worry.
My knowledge is not as deep.
We don't judge you for your.
He'll be disappointed.
I know he would be, wouldn't he? We don't judge you for your glove knowledge. We judge you for your Counter-Strike knowledge, of which you have many knowledges to work with. So
indeed. Ooh, speaking of knowledge, how does Stair know? My guy, big frag, and a 5-on-4 straight out of the gate, Trav.
Yeah, that's a really important opening kill again for Sprout. Of course, this is where they need to step up, and that's a lovely secondary frag too. Stair gets flashed in by slaxz and goes deep toward ramp and completely takes it, and that really locks out the T play to probably just a B push. Alex makes a lot of noise on the grate, and he's going to get swung on by 2 players. The back player on back quad was always going to get that frag. Launex gets that one, and 2 players left for Bait, Nikita and Amster. Trying to just win some aim kills, and that's going to be very difficult for them. Zyphon takes advantage of that single angle, and they're going to be swarmed upon it. Amster once again, he can only get the 1. Sprout win the round with 3 players alive. Pretty good for their economy. They're building it up now. And Bait use a tactical timeout at the right time.
Yes.
To try and sort out this T side.
In my head, while Trav's talking, I'm like, what am I going to say next? Take a timeout. And they did.
Yeah.
Before I even got the words out. So they're on the ball. They really are on the ball. Now's the time. You may well have argued if you want to go super preemptive, you do it in the previous. But, yeah, this is the round to do it in. And we've yet to figure where things go from here. Bait have hit the wall, you know, big style, and they've had a good couple of rounds here where they're really, really, really struggling. So they have to get this one working. It's going to be difficult. Alex on only 1900 is the real sore thumb in this crowd, and I would possibly maybe argue that that's a bit of mismanagement of the economy. He's perhaps buying himself when he should be dropped when they're in those richer rounds. Spread the econ.
Was he the one? No, it was Amster to save the orb that previous round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't Alex, was it? So yeah, I was gonna say if he saved that one time on T side, then maybe it would be him, but it was Amster instead. So yeah, he's been a bit separated from that one, and now you have a little bit of tech pause coming in, so hopefully not too long.
The dice on your forklift.
Do you want much dice?
Smell terrible. You know, usually they have like the nice
on a work
fresh
site
car smell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bet they smell terrible.
But it smells pretty terrible in there as well, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Should we try calling that number? Someone should try calling that number one day. I wonder. Is it a real? Does it get you through to the?
Do you think map makers have to? Yeah, do you think map makers have to double check these things to make sure it's not a real number, just in case?
You're getting some real trouble if you know, it is someone's number.
This is an interesting stage of the best of 3. Sprout and Bait, they're working their way back in. Sprout can't afford to lose a round to any silly pistols again like they did in the previous. They're on the comeback trail. There's the 2-1 qualifying match, of course, so no one's eliminated. We're just sending a team to Rio, and that's what makes it so exciting. Sprout could make a major for the first time since Boston 2018. That's the only time they ever got stickers, I believe. And Bait, of course, RMR debutants could make it as well, which would be one of the stories of the RMR considering, of course, there always does tend to be that one CIS team that does something and shocks the world. It's been Vega Squadron in the past. Rest in peace, Vega Squadron. It's been teams like Fours before. Now maybe it's the era of One Win and Bait Esports. Who knows? Ridiculous amount of talent in that scene, of course. Wrinkle, one of many hugely talented Ukrainian AWPers that's made their way through that scene. But facing up against slaxz has been a tough one for him in this series. He's been doing very well, though. slaxz, the German AWPer. Stare, Young Dane. Refresh, Danish IGL from Heroic. Zyphon, taken from Copenhagen Flames. And, of course, Lauenex as well, taken from the Nexus Romanian team, where he has looked very good over the years and now finally got his chance. Say finally. He's only 17. He's playing beyond his years, you could say. And now my little recap of the rosters takes us through the technical timeout and into the next round, so that's nice.
Nice, dude. Very cool. They're going down the middle. They're going down the middle here, Trav. So they're going to let Sprout get as close as possible. It's a Mach 10 fast play, you would imagine. Could still work for them. The surprise factor, you just had the technical timeout and whatnot. You can see a lot of nades being rotated, and a couple of them are pretty good, actually. Down goes Amster. Good read. And surely you get rotations across here. The AK's running rings around. Any kills, any kill bonus, any bomb plant. Nope, not there.
He's got it.
Just gets it down. Refresh will take his head pretty quickly. So I think the round's going to be over, bar something absolutely out of this world from Alex. And, well, it's very much in this world. He will indeed go down. But they'll be happy with that, right? A kill. I believe that comes off of a Tech 9 player, unfortunately. And it is on Alex, so the kill bonus is nice. But the bomb plant really bolsters this buy moving forwards, and even the personal economy of a couple of the players. So really, really looking good into a round like this. And, I mean, this is it, isn't it? This is your turning point, especially if you Sprout.
Yeah. Those grenades landing right on the head of Amster. Stair taking matters into his own hands there. And Nikita, though, as we say, will be absolutely delighted with that. Just leaping in the smoke for the bomb plant. Absolutely worth it. Be like saying, haha, I've completed my objective of the round and you couldn't stop me.
He's so lucky as well that the player on the other side's the AWPer. You know, if it was an M4, you can probably just kind of wiggle your mouse around and eventually find him. He was like half HP or whatever. So, yeah, a little bit of luck involved, but absolutely love it. Big nades onto Captain Kirker to kick us off. So, lovely, lovely start for Sprout.
Yeah, good damage. Captain Jacket 023. One of those usernames which, you know, would maybe love to give him an interview one day and say where that came from. Might even get that chance if Bait make the major. They're going to be one of the big stories of CS if they get through, but right now Sprout are in the ascendancy. They could easily take this to a third. Still 12-11 down. Need to keep it solid. What do they do to change anything up? Do they go back to more aggression toward ramp? It worked once. It definitely didn't work the other time when Amster got that double spray down. As for Bait, maybe a bit of a proper B execute to come in could be the way to go with utility. They've sort of gone to B as a late round afterthought on a couple of these rounds. Can they change it up and shock the B defenders? A nice little boost above the smoke could work. Zyphon and Lauenex are in position. In comes the util.
Here we go, charging forward. Zyphon going to find one before the flashes even roll through. Lauenex, he will be traded out, but Zyphon's in a really good spot here. The spacing is just a bit all over the place. He even takes down the AWPer. 10 seconds. Nikita with the lurk out mid does not work. And that will be a clean 12th. Sprout only losing one player. Looking like they're on top of the world right now, Trav. This is really, really good stuff for them.
Yeah, and it's perfect for them to be locking it out, of course, on that CT side as well. Feel a lot more comfortable. Zyphon, basically full blind, going for that first kill, but still makes it happen. And he's had a lot better second map than he had first map. Up to 21-16 now, leading in the server. Exactly the step up we needed from him after Nuke. And exactly what we expect of him as well, being one of the most talented players to come from that Copenhagen Flames roster, of course, that had so much success. Nico and Roy off to Fnatic. Zyphon off to Sprout. And of course, a certain man by the name of Hooksy as well. Wonder who that guy is. Refresh on the window in mid will get dinked and spooked by that Tech 9. So he'll have to B-hop away. But in the end, the grenade deals with Captain Kurtka comfortably. And a recovered AK is all that Amster has to play with. So, Sprout 13-12. You know what happened on the first map, Scriv, at 13-12? Lightning.
Yeah.
Striking.
Super silly round. Yeah.
Twice.
Maybe. Amster. Nope. Okay. Not in this one. Maybe in the next one, though. We'll see.
Look at the money, by the way. Refresh is on 12.3 and slaxz is on 11.1. That's a nice bank to have toward the business end of a map, isn't it?
Okay, so here we go. Are we getting an extension, or are we getting ourselves a 2-0 finish for Bait? This is kind of the big question of this round, to be honest with you, and they have severely struggled in the past few, running out of ideas, even despite timeouts and the like. Nice find from Wrinkle, though. Stair gets cheeky on the edge of the smoke. Shadow spotted. Flick landed. And now a 5-on-4.
They can do anything they want with this now. Keep Sprout guessing, you never know. At some point, CT side are going to have to look for information somewhere. Usually how the pattern goes. 5v4, or 4v5 I should say, down, and you look for something around the map to get your team some information and maybe a kill back in return to keep it at an even standpoint. And Bait, they look like they want to go back toward B, and maybe considering they've got one pick, considering that maybe there's only now one on B and they're going to go for a full execute. Launex needs to defend and defend well.
He's not going to be easy here. He's found the first. He's had to back off, though. 4 versus 4. Damage coming through smokes and whatnot. They are just waiting patiently. They've got plenty of time. They've also got a bit of a flank that has yet to be activated. Bomb going to go down. No, it isn't. Molotov comes around. They'll buy all the time they need, but they can just keep buying that time. And ultimately, they've discovered that A is clear. Captain Kirk is in deep. Amster finds Launex, going to keep Zyphon's attention over there, and now it becomes a game of, okay, they've heard them running away, but they're not ready for Captain Kirk, and he'll seal the deal, surely. Zyphon against 4 with 41 HP, not a chance. Might be able to take a gun or two away. The round itself, not going to happen. Only the one gun taken down, 13-13. Big round, big round indeed.
This time at least it's a normal gun round, and Sprout have plenty of money. It was a bit different at 13-12. On the previous map, so they can go again. It's only a flash in the pan for Bait. They need to continue it and continue a streak. And that's the first pick from Wrinkle. Nice find towards Stair. That was the big one, but then in the end, as we see, this is the big one for Captain Kurtka. Had a advanced position towards CT, and getting both those 2 kills on the spray down is really important just to secure that round and make it no threat whatsoever with those 2 players rotating in. 13 all, another close series, another close map for Sprout. Certainly giving them plenty of experience, isn't it? That they will probably need and take through to future tournaments. Whether that's the major or not remains to be seen. Bait Esports are 3 rounds away from what has to be a dream of this group of players. They've come from relative obscurity to this situation, and they're going to be going toward B once again. Launex to defend. What can he do this time?
The big question. I mean, it's always down to this guy, isn't it? Flashes are pretty good. He still does well to get one. The B hit this time looking a little cleaner, a little easier to work with. 4v4. They found some holes in the defense. Zyphon, though, how's he got both there? Oh, and the missed shot from Wrinkle. Gap going to close here. Surely gets surrounded. Just panic for Bait. Small tag lands. Alex will find one, and, well, Wrinkle going to fall. It's all going to be down to Alex. In and around these smokes. Tap onto the bomb. Has to give his position away, and slaxz is ready for him. There you go. Sprout this time on the retake looking a lot better.
Goodness me, that's another nervy type one though, isn't it, for Sprout? I mean, the fact that Launix gets 1-for-1 is fine. That's really all you have to ask of your B anchor sometimes when you don't have necessarily a hell of a lot of flash support. You can see he was very blind, switches for 1 really well. And Zyphon misses the 2k. Oh, that flick to the second is huge, and he finishes off that first player he was going for as well. Zyphon has really stepped up. I mentioned it already. I have to mention it again. It's massive. 27 kills, leading in the server by far now. Huge performance. The Heimlich for Sprout, perhaps, is Zyphon. And I've got to say, I've been quite impressed with Bait in the last few rounds as well. They've conditioned Sprout into maybe only having 1 player toward B on a couple of these occasions. That I thought for a second that they fought their way in to a bomb plant and a good after plant as well. But Sprout, mostly thanks to Zyphon, getting 2 quick kills made it very difficult for Bait to keep themselves alive. 14-13.
Pressure on. Next, looking for this first one. Whether that molly's going to reach, I don't think it will. However,
this is a good spot.
Yeah, it's the space to get down, isn't it? He's still got a pretty good chance at finding the kill later on in the round. It's all that timing and maybe pressure on the other bomb site or mid.
Yeah.
Much slower from Bait here.
I like that from Bait going slower. I also like this from Sprout, I've got to say. Launix has played defensive toward the back of the site twice now. And now he's pushed onto that little sandbag angle next to the stairs, which is very hard to pre-fire and clear properly. And already Zyphon, once again, has opened the round. Refresh realizes that mid could be a problem, and he'll just molly it and fall away, keeping that 5v4 in his team's favor. That's the way to do it. That smoke is a little bit of a rough one. I think they now know that Launix is up close because that's where that smoke came from, but he still gets the kill. And all the frags are coming in for Sprout. Good recovery from Amster, but he'll be found by Zyphon once again. And it's all down to Wrinkle. Zyphon gets the last, and now it's him to step up for Sprout once again. 3 kills. There's the 30 at round 29. It was Refresh in vain on map 1. It's Zyphon perhaps not in vain on map 2.
All the way down to the wire on both, though. That's definitely what we wanted, right? The competition element. Are we going to get the overtime? Can Bait backs up against the wall find a way to bring this game to an extension? Never easy, but yeah, I mean, we kind of felt it, didn't we? The T side here of Vertigo was going to be very difficult for them. Looked good, looked winnable. They're getting a taste of their own medicine. And it is just that extra layer of comfort. Flash, ineffective. Oh. Alex opens up, but then gives his life away. The 1-for-1, generally pretty good for a T side, but he certainly could have lived on that one. Gets a bit giddy for the second kill, you have to say. Amster, though, he's found space in towards mid. Great nice flashes at ramp. Trade still there. It's Refresh with that kill onto Amster. Down goes Captain Kirker. Wrinkle, the only one left. Trying to follow in the footsteps of his teammate. He made it round mid. He's not ready for this player up close, though, is he? Nope. That's going to be that 16-13. The finish comes in, and we are indeed requiring a third here. Absolutely should be for a series like this. Goodness gracious me. What a wonderful run from both teams. And trust me, it's going to heat up onto that third map. We've got Inferno coming up in just a few.